It's always a joy when you have a trout at the end of your line. Often, the fight they put up is disproportionate to their small sizes. They can also grow to be pretty large, making them even more exciting to catch. To ensure you never lose a trout, you'll need a reel that can take on the biggest ones among them, as well as the smallest ones. I also made affordability a huge factor when I was choosing the best trout fishing reels. One reel that really stood out was the Daiwa Regal LT spinning reel. If you're looking for a budget-friendly reel that can comfortably take on any trout, starting number 1, Daiwa Regal LT. Let's start the ball rolling with a super light and affordable reel that can handle any trout. The Daiwa Regal LT spinning reel is also incredibly smooth and has a great gear ratio. Its lightness can be credited to its air rotor system, ARS, and its material. ARS is unique to Daiwa and makes their air rotors 15% lighter than normal air rotors of the same material. On top of this, the spool is constructed from carbon fiber, the lightest material. The ARS and light carbon fiber combine to produce an unbelievably light reel. Only 2 other spinning reels for trout manage to be slightly lighter than this, and both are more than double its cost. As for its drag system, even gigantic trout won't be a problem. A smooth drag of 20 pounds will be enough for even monster trout. With a maximum drag of 22 pounds, you can fish confidently without worrying about the size of the trout on your hook. To top it all off, it delivers next-level smoothness with its 9+1 bearings coupled with a desirable gear ratio of 5:1. It's not every day that you see such an incredible reel. It's even rarer to see it at such a modest price. Anyone who's looking for an awesome all-around reel should give this a shot. At number 2, Okuma Helios Lightweight. As you can tell from the name, this reel is all about lightness. It's not just light though, it's also the most durable and corrosion-resistant trout spinning reel. The Okuma Helios Lightweight spinning reel actually stands at roughly an ounce lighter than the Daiwa Regal LT. If you thought Daiwa's ARS was impressive, prepare to be mind-blown. Okuma's C40X long-strand carbon fiber technology utilizes a specially blended graphite polymer. The carbon fibers in this material are elongated and reinforced. This creates a substantially stronger composite than standard graphite. At 25% lighter, 50% stronger, and 100% anti-corrosive, C40X translates to an extremely lightweight and durable reel. Now let's talk about its bearings. For those who want your reel to be extra safe from corrosion, Okuma's got you covered. The 8+1 corrosion-resistant ball bearings, CRBB, not only make the reel silky smooth but also further protect the reel from rusting. There's just one drawback, its maximum drag. At 13 pounds, you'll be able to land some larger trout, but you'll have trouble with the biggest ones. You might also be put off by the price, given that it's around twice the price of the Daiwa Regal LT. However, as you can tell, this premium trout reel also offers more than double the value. As long as you're not going after monster trout, there's no better reel to spend your money on. If you won't settle for anything less than the best trout spinning reel, look no further. At number 3, Shimano Stradic C14. What? The previous 2 spinning reels for trout weren't light enough? Fine. Here comes the lightest reel of them all, the Shimano Stradic C14 spinning reel. This reel has no equal when it comes to lightness, and can handle the entire range of trout. Weighing a mere 6.7 ounces for size 3000 is a feat unachieved by any brand except Shimano. Shimano didn't reveal any special technology, but I don't really care as long as it's light. I've been fishing for 20 years now, and seen and used many lightweight reels. But none could hold a candle to the Shimano Stradic C14. I've also looked through every single lightweight reel I could find online. But not a single one could beat this reel in lightness. Safe to say, this is the current lightest spinning reel for trout in the world. It also produces 19.8 pounds of drag force, enabling you to reel in the biggest trouts. 6+1 bearings give you a pretty smooth reel too. All in all, the Shimano Stradic Ci4 Plus is the perfect spinning reel for trout for those who value lightness the most in a rod. While the price is rather steep, you won't find a lighter reel elsewhere. You can definitely go with the previous two trout reels, but if you've got the money to spare, this is worth spending on. At number 4, Kastking Valiant Eagle Gold, it's able to generate up to 22 pounds of smooth drag, rivaling that of the Daiwa Regal LT. This means you won't have to worry about heavier trout overpowering your reel. I also really like its retrieve. It features 7+1 shielded stainless steel bearings and a fast 6.2 to 1 gear ratio. Stainless steel is by nature a corrosion-resistant material. Combined with the 7+1 bearings being shielded, the result is a smooth and durable ball bearing system. The fast gear ratio also takes less effort when reeling in trout. Overall, the retrieve from the reel is more than satisfactory. Needless to say though, compromises were made to keep costs down. It's one of the heavier trout fishing reels on this list, and the assembly is rather shoddy. If I was being honest, in all likelihood, one or two parts may fall off after a year. And for $10 more, you could get yourself a Daiwa Regal LT. Despite that, this is a reel I would gladly buy. If you find yourself unable to spare that extra $10, this is a good spinning reel as a second option. At number 5, Plusinno Fishing. If you still found the Kastking Valiant Eagle Gold a bit too pricey, I've got just the reel for you. The Plusinno spinning reel is the absolute lowest priced usable trout reel. It also has some sweet extra features that I think you'll like. First off, it's got 9+1 bearings. The sheer number of bearings should give you an idea of how buttery smooth it is. The bearings also reduce noise, so you'll have not only a smooth but also quiet reel. What really sets it apart from other reels though, is the special features. To begin with, it's got a line keeper. This makes it easy to attach your line and also prevents your line from coming off the spool during storage. Next, it's also equipped with a push button. What this button does is it lets you fold your handle instead of having to unscrew the handle like in most other reels. All these additional features add up to unparalleled ease of use. The catch is that you can only use this reel in freshwater. I learned the hard way that this spinning reel for trout is not resistant to rust in any way. Do not under any circumstance use this reel for saltwater fishing. Since many other trout reels can be used for saltwater fishing, this is a pretty big limitation, which explains its dirt cheap price. Other than that though, there aren't any downsides to this rod. This is the best trout spinning reel on a budget that won't leave out any important features, so you won't be shortchanged in any way. For the price of a few cups of coffee, you can own this smooth reel, not to mention the awesome extra features that come with it. At number 6, Okuma Ceymar. If you found the Daiwa Regal LT somewhat too costly, here's a viable alternative. The Okuma Ceymar spinning reel is just a step behind in everything. This includes weight, smoothness, and drag system. Comparing both reels size 3000 reels, the Okuma Ceymar is 0.4 ounces heavier. In terms of bearings, the Okuma Ceymar is once again 2 bearings behind, and marginally less smooth. Lastly, its drag system is weaker. Unlike the Daiwa Regal LT, which can beat the largest trout, the Okuma Ceymar can only take on large trout. It'll be able to face down anything except the biggest of the biggest trouts. All things considered, you'll be getting a slightly inferior reel for approximately $10 less. In my opinion, it's a smart way to have $10 more in your wallet. If that appeals to you, this is the reel for you. At number 7, Pflueger President, designed to be smooth in performance, the Pflueger President spinning reel offers unprecedented smoothness. Constructed with 9+1 corrosion-resistant ball bearings, CRBB, the number of bearings alone is already hard to replicate. Nevertheless, 2 trout reels managed to do so. But the Pflueger President still prevails. The first reel that also has 9+1 bearings is the Daiwa Regal LT, but they aren't corrosion-resistant like the Pfluegers are. The second reel is the Plusinno. Like I mentioned earlier though, it can't even touch saltwater. Ultimately, the Pflueger President's ball bearing system is still superior. This reel is hands down the smoothest reel for trout fishing and was made for people who prioritize smoothness over everything else in a reel.